in an event that could very well be likened to the charge of the Light Brigade if, instead of horses, they were all riding monstrously powerful carbon fiber beasts. The Red Bull Ring set the stage for what can only be described as a glorious ballet. A ballet, mind you, where the dancers occasionally trip over their own feet, crash into the scenery, and sometimes, quite spectacularly, forget their steps altogether. From the word go, it was as if someone had told the drivers that the track was lined with gold. And by Jove, didn't they all turn into prospectors, feverishly jockeying for position? Xavier Seynard, in a performance less Red Bull Ring and more running of the bulls, found himself in a pickle straight out of Sector 1. Imagine, if you will, an enthusiastic bull charging headfirst into a china shop, and you won't be far off. Then there was the curious case of the pit stop aficionados. The pits, where races are won and lost, or in the case of our dear competitors, where one might stop for a spot of tea and perhaps a scone. Delmas, Leo 2 and Felipe F. Ramos evidently mistook the pit lane for an all-you-can-eat buffet, making repeat visits. One has to wonder if they were collecting loyalty points. Let's talk about the victors of this magnificent farce. Finley Fitzsimmons emerged as the king of this rowdy jamboree, darting past the checkered flag with the elegance of a gazelle that's just realised it's actually a cheetah. Close on his heels was AJ Brenner, who after a bout of what can only be described as vehicular pinball, managed to secure a P2 finish. And let's not forget Delmas Leo 2, rounding off the podium, proving that despite any pit stop shenanigans, sheer will and a hint of luck can see you through. In the midst of all this chaos stood Michael Fairchild and Xavier Seynard, finishing in P4 and P5, respectively. Their drives were less about flamboyance, and more about the sort of steadfast determination typically reserved for British postmen. Elliot Court, finishing in P7 after overtaking manoeuvres that would make a stunt driver blush, deserves a special mention for sheer audacity. But spare a thought for Raymond Aguilar. After a dance to the top position, a tango with Finley Fitzsimmons for the lead, and a grand finale of running into trouble in Sector 3 on the penultimate lap, he ended up in P11. It's the motorsport equivalent of tripping on the last hurdle of the steeplechase with the finish line in sight. In the annals of League Zero Formula, Round 6 at the Red Bull Ring will be remembered not just for its victor, but for its valour, vaudevillian pit stops, and the veritable cornucopia of vehicular vendettas. It was less a race, more an episode of wacky races, penned by someone with a predilection for potent petrol potions. So, as the dust settles and the engines cool, let us raise our hats and our glasses to the drivers of League Zero Formula. To the victors, the vanquished, and everyone in between, thank you for another unforgettable round of racing. Here's to misadventures, missteps, and of course the sheer, unadulterated madness that keeps us coming back for more. Onwards and sidewards, dear drivers, to the next round.